Hi, my name is Jen, and I wanted to share my story of my dream of always wanting to be a mom. I feel like some people want to be astronauts, aspire to be doctors, but one thing I knew is that I wanted to be a mom. So when I started suffering from abnormal spotting back in 2018, I knew I wanted to address it as soon as possible. I end up at a fertility clinic. In the fertility clinic, I remember just laying on the doctor's bed and hearing tubal disease, stage 4 endometriosis, fibroids, possible endometriosis, and my heart stopped. I sat up, he looked at me and said, "You're 28 years old and you're gonna need IVF." At this point, my husband and I had a horrible credit score, no money saved in the bank. So in my mind, all that was we're never gonna be able to attain this, right? Like there's no possible way. So then in the midst of this, my husband decides to tell me that someone he went to elementary with is starting a new church. And he was talking about Rich, and he was starting up Generation. He's like, we have to go. And the last thing on my mind was, I wanna go to church. Because I was angry. I didn't understand how other people easily had babies, and I was cursed with this problem that I couldn't ever attain. I remember going to the car that day and screaming to the top of my lungs saying, "Why would you do this to me? Like, out of all people, why would you do this to me?" So something in me just gave in and we went to church. I remember sitting in, not the front row, but maybe like the 4th row, and saying, "God, if you're in this with me, if I'm not alone in this, I need you to talk to me in this service." Rich kept talking about other things, and I'm just like, this has nothing to do with anything that's happening with me. And towards the end, he says, "Tina and I had everything figured out. We planned on a house, we planned on babies, and we were trying for the baby and it wasn't coming." And I remember looking at my husband and just like losing it. And I'm just like, okay, we're where we need to be. So I went into it full force. I was like, we're gonna do this. I don't know, we're just gonna try to do this. I end up at a different fertility clinic. And in this fertility clinic, the doctor looks at me and says, "Your ovarian reserve went down," which was never an issue for me. I had a surgery to correct all the issues that I had in 2018, but my eggs were never a factor. So when he looked at me and said, "Your ovarian reserve went down," something in me said, this is not being told to you because it's true. This is being told to you because this is what you need to hear to go into this full force and trust me. So the doctor walks out and I look at Raymond and I'm like, I don't know how we're doing this. We haven't saved the money, we don't have the credit, I don't know how we're doing this, but we're going into this faith first. So I had someone reach out to me and she told me, I never go on Facebook, but I decided to go on and I saw your story. And I feel led to by God to give you my medications that I have left. After this happens, I'm like, oh my God. Okay, she meets up with me, she gives me all the medications. I actually had more medications than I needed. So a month before I applied for a loan, something kept telling me, just apply. Even though we kept getting shut down. I'm at work and I get a call from a lady that tells me, "You got approved from this loan company for $8,000, which was nothing. But for this other loan company, you got approved for the max amount of $42,000. The day of the transfer came and I got pregnant. Around this time, I'm reminiscing on everything, just thinking back of everything God had done to lead us up to this point. And I realized the dates. November 8th, 2018, I had laparoscopic surgery that officially made me barren. November 8th, 2019, Sarah, which was another thing I realized, that Sarah was the one that reached out to me, and out of all the names she could have had, her name was the biblical name from the Bible. The woman that couldn't have a baby and had a miracle baby. She reached out to me November 8th, 2019 with the medications I needed. that were not included in the loan. That was the only thing that wasn't included. And then November 8th, 2020, I had my baby girl, 6 pounds, 6 ounces, perfect, healthy baby girl. And what I learned from this, being Christian my whole life, is that the strongest thing that you can ever have is blind faith. That knowing that even if you don't understand the season you're in, that if you just trust him, he'll not only go with you, he'll be beside you and go before you and push you forward further than you even imagined. And that's the thing I learned the most, was that blind faith, it's everything.